Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So I'm here a little late, we're a little further into September than I like, but I'm here with my August wrap up and let you know what I read in August. I thought I didn't have a really great reading month in August, and then I realized I read 8 books somehow. But I'm telling you, the audiobooks have been keeping me alive lately. I have a dog to walk multiple times a day, lots of audiobook time. So of all of these books, I only have one in my possession. Because they were so great, I have been loaning them out. So we'll just get started. First one I read in the month and finished was Look, a Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. Loved this book. Five glorious stars. Now, Mary Kubica can be hit or miss for me. I've read a few of her books now, and this one by far is my favorite. And it really centers around how do I tell you without messing things up and telling you? So we have a woman who is missing. We have multiple perspectives in this book, equally including a woman that goes missing. There's a past element of some mystery. There is current mysterious happenings going on, and it seems very random. And there's a lot of secrets. And I think that's all I want to tell you. But just read it. It's so good. Next one I picked up was Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. This was, I think, oh no, did I read a Jennifer Weiner book? I've maybe read one a long time ago. And I have 3 stars written down, but it feels a little bit more than a 3-star to me, but not quite a 4, so whatever that means. I like that this represented someone I could relate to as being a bigger person. You only see up here. I'm not sometimes finding representation in books the way that I would like to see sometimes. And now this one we had it. So she's kind of made a name for herself, our main character. She has an Instagram following, and it all stemmed from something that happened one night. Her and her friends were out at a club. Her friends were always kind of these perfect, pretty things, and she maybe felt not quite there up to par. And the one friend hired a guy to kind of hit on her friend and dance with her and make her feel special, and she found out about it and kind of went off, and it got filmed and it went viral, and she kind of grew from there, basically saying, I'm sick of being shamed for who I am and what I have and what my body looks like. And so she grows this Instagram presence from there. Time goes by, this friend comes back into her life and basically says, I'm getting married and I'm short on bridesmaids. Like, she doesn't have any friends, and she's basically gonna hire her to be a bridesmaid. So they go to the wedding, it's the night before, and something happens to her friend. And it goes from there. I did really, really enjoy it. No, I just don't know how to rate it. I think I'll pick up another Jennifer Weiner book, but that's for sure. So I liked it. The next one is a book I listened to off of Libro FM. If you're interested in a really great audiobook option, Libro FM has a monthly subscription service that you can sign up for, and the proceeds will go to a local independent bookstore that you choose. I love that concept. Information's down below if you want to click on it. So I listened to The Great Glorious Goddamn of It All by Josh Ritter. This one is a book about logging. So we have lumberjacks. So we have our main character who's a child and who idolizes his dad, who was a lumberjack for a number of years and basically gave it up to go be the husband and the dad that he wanted to be. And towards the end of his life, his son learns about what his dad did in the past and has the opportunity to kind of go out and fulfill his shoes, and he does, and it is really, really interesting. Very interesting. I enjoyed listening to it. I gave it 3 stars. Next one I read, which I have loaned out, I think my mom has it, is The Gunkle by Stephen Rowley, and I love this book. 5 stars wholeheartedly love this book. This follows our main character, Pat. He is an actor, but he hasn't really been in anything for a number of time, for quite a while. He kind of lives in the outskirts in California. Like, he's by LA, but he's far enough away that he's like, I just want to be by myself and kind of just forget about me. I'm fine. And his best friend growing up married his brother, so it's his sister-in-law, and she is fighting cancer and ends up passing away. And so he's dealing with grief from that, and then all of a sudden his brother says, you know what, I really need you to take my 2 kids and I need you to keep them for the summer because I need to go to rehab because I turned to over-the-counter drugs I turned to drugs while I was dealing with his wife's death. So all of a sudden our character, Pat, has these 2 young kids that he's got to take care of. And it is hilarious. They call him the Gunkle because he is gay. He's their gay Uncle Pat. So they call him Gup sometimes as well. And he lives next to a throuple, he calls it. So 3 men living together. So I like the representation in it. I enjoy it because it's not like, it really works with the story. It goes with the story and it makes the story really, really interesting and good. It is hilarious. I laughed out loud a number of times, yet it's heartbreaking. There's a lot of really good lessons that are learned. There are Gunkle rules that he comes up with. It's so good. It's so good. Go read it. It's so good. The next book I listened to, again, Libro FM, is Falling by TJ Newman. Oh, 5 stars. Don't, maybe not now if you are sensitive to airplane takeover stories, especially with 9/11 around the corner. But so this one has our main character. He is the pilot. He basically gets blackmailed while he is flying a plane that says, I have kidnapped your family, your wife and 2 kids, and either you crash the plane and kill all the people on board or I will kill them. And whoa, let's talk about a suspenseful book the entire time. But it was so good. I flew, no pun intended, flew through that book. It's fantastic. The next one, and the only one that I have here, is The Book of Two Ways by Jodi Picoult. This one follows our main character, Dawn, as she, again, another on a plane. And she has to prepare for a crash landing. And she's, of course, thinking the worst is going to happen. And instead of thinking of her husband and daughter, she's thinking of a previous love that she had during college. And so she thinks of Wyatt and what could have been. And so somehow, miraculously, she survives the crash and is basically given the opportunity to go anywhere in the world. And she decides, instead of going home to her husband and daughter, to go and see where Wyatt is in Egypt as he is digging up tombs. Really interesting book about what could have happened, what maybe should have happened, what did happen, just parallel lives, basically. So I enjoyed it. I gave this one 4 stars. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Jodi Picoult book, but I was hearing some really bad reviews of it, and I didn't quite see it. The reviews I was reading that weren't necessarily in favor of this book, though, were talking about how they got a little bored with all of the Egyptology type stuff in here. I enjoyed that stuff. I am naturally a collector of information. I like to read about those things, and Jodi does such a phenomenal job with educating us on things from wolves to elephants to Egypt. So I enjoyed that piece. Maybe not for everybody, so I can see why maybe there are some lower ratings, but I gave it a 4. So I liked it. The next one I listened to is The Temple House Vanishing by Rachel Donahue. I gave this 3 stars. Probably should be a little lower because I was kind of bored. I thought it was supposed to be, it just wasn't what it was supposed to be for me. So we have dual timelines, which I got a little confused in while I was listening to it. But we have a situation that happens at a private girls' Catholic school where a girl and a teacher end up disappearing, and we have years later with people trying to figure out what happened, and then we have what actually happened as we're listening along. it was just a little too wordy for me. Didn't quite keep my interest. So it's 3 stars. It's fine, but not phenomenal. And then the last one, oh, love this book. Another book I listened to is The Queen's Secret by Karen Harper. Fantastic. As a fan of The Crown, that's on Netflix, this gave me the backstory. So where The Crown picks up with Queen Elizabeth taking over because her father passed away, I get the backstory of what happened kind of up until, well, not quite up until that point, but as Queen Elizabeth was growing up. And I get it from her mother's perspective and how she dealt with World War II, how she dealt with Winston Churchill, how she had her relationship with her husband, how she had the relationship with the former king who gave up his throne because he married an American woman, and how that continued. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I really liked it. It was like the perfect historical fiction book that I liked. If we would have had dual timelines, probably would have been a little better, but overall, oh my gosh, I loved it so much. So those were the 8 books I read in August. What am I currently reading? I'm currently reading the 9/11, The Only Plane in the Sky. It's an oral history of what happened on 9/11. I'm reading it kind of as a build up to September 11th. I'm reading this book along with, who else was reading it with me? I think Sarah's Nightsea and Krista from Books and Jams and Amanda from the Curly Reader. They've all finished it and here I am, but I like it that I'm getting a little chunk every day. I also know a number of other people who are joining in on this and reading it with us, so it's just such a good read. But that one's actually for a book club pick. We picked that almost a year ago to read coming up to 9/11. So that one is for that. My one book club, my other book club is reading The Handmaid's Tale. Again, appropriate timing, interesting, by Margaret Atwood. So I'm listening to that one. Not the best audiobook in the world, but I have to have that done fairly soon. So that's about the only way I'm going to get that done quickly. I'm still working on my 5-star predictions. And what else do I have on the docket? I don't know. I've got enough to choose from. So I'm not sure what I'll pick up next. I usually have some sort of a plan, but I don't this time, and I'm totally fine with that. So if you have read any of these books and you want to chat about them below, always love talking books. Otherwise, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.